Hi, I'm Katie. Welcome back to my channel, and yeah, I'm glad you're here. It is bright and early at 7:30 a.m. because I just finished a DMV appointment at 7 a.m. and yeah, we're doing great. But I just have some extra time since I'm going to be sitting here in my car for a while, and I thought I would just make a video, another mental health video. So yeah, let's get into it. And today I want to talk about something that I think is really interesting and is very important to talk about, and I don't think it gets talked about very much, just in every video, but I guess that's just the point of my channel. So it's true, it's kind of a taboo topic, kind of controversial, and that is medication, and specifically for mental health and mental illness. So I am on multiple medications, and I'm very happy about that. I have no regrets, and it's really what's best for me in my journey. And so I wanted to talk about some misconceptions that tend to be out there, and also in the end kind of talk about what kind of effect that has on you or us as people taking medication and people who might need medication or want it or benefit from it, but who feel that stigma. And so I just wanted to talk about what that can be like and why those misconceptions are not true. Also, I'm sorry for the camera moving. I'm a little bit clumsy, and I'm holding my camera on my steering wheel, so it's not perfect, so don't worry. But yeah, okay, the first misconception that I wanted to talk about is that medication is like any other recreational or psychedelic or whatever drug that isn't a prescribed mental illness medication. And the main way I see this is when people say, oh, well, people just distract people as drugged up, or they'll compare the use of the recreational drugs to the use of medications, like the ones I'm talking about, and call them the same thing and say it's the same thing being on those and being on these. And that's just not true. And I will preface this with that I'm not a scientist, but also I'm not stupid, and I've been on medication for a long time. So I've been really educated through doctors about it, and also had a lot of personal experience. And the biggest difference, and the reason that's not true, is with certain drugs that are also drugs, they alter your brain state so that you're a little bit out of reality, and it's not in a way that helps you assemble into society and be productive and be your best self. So I wouldn't call those very productive drugs. And while at the same time, some people would say oh, cocaine will make you super productive. By the way, this is just things I've heard. Obviously, I've never done these, or I shouldn't say obviously. I've never done any of those, any drugs really, any drugs at all besides coffee and my medicine that's prescribed to me by my doctor. But I'm just saying I don't have the personal experience, but it doesn't seem that they're helping you assimilate into society. Unless maybe some mental health marijuana could do that, but I'm not very educated on that, so I'm not really going to talk about it. But anyway, on the other hand, the truth is that mental health medications are designed to help you blend in and kind of be prepared to act in society as a normal person, and so that you don't stand out, or you don't feel out of reality, or you aren't dissociating from reality. It's meant to put you at the baseline level that most people are at who don't struggle with mental illness. So it's just not true that it's the same as any other drug, or that you're on some crazy altered reality feeling. Second misconception is that it's for weak people, or that it's oh, you can fix yourself any other way. And this is just not true, because I think it takes a good amount of strength to go on medication. It's really scary when you first do that, because of all the things you've heard. And I mean, it's just makes sense for a change like that to be scary, and it can be an important and serious step to take. So I think being brave enough to go ahead and do that for yourself isn't weak. And also, we know that mental illnesses are out of our control. So it's not a personal weakness to need medication. It's just about your brain or the trauma you've been through. And it really doesn't reflect anything on yourself. But that leads into the third misconception, which is that medication is a replacement for therapy. And I would say that is not true. I really think that medication needs to go hand in hand with therapy. And the way I look at it is that sometimes medication gets you to a place where you're able to fully participate and benefit from therapy. So I don't think that one is a replacement for the other, but that they really just go hand in hand. And I think it can be like probably a little bit bad when it's only medication, just because we really need that therapy aspect. But yeah, it's not a replacement. But also, if that's all you have access to, it's not that you're weak for not doing therapy, if that makes any sense. In some cases, like life-saving, which I definitely experienced. And so it would be terrible for this like shame and this like these misconceptions to get in the way of someone using that resource that could save their life. And I think that's really dangerous and really sad that that can happen. And so I think we would be way better off without these lies about and myths about medication, because people need to be able to access this resource. And also, I think it can be hard enough sometimes to be on medication for many different reasons, and we don't really need this extra difficulty. So yeah, that's kind of just what I wanted to talk about, and also give some encouragement to anyone who's on medication or starting that like journey, is that you're not broken for taking medication. You're not weak. You should be proud of yourself for taking care of yourself. And also, this is helpful to me, you're not alone. Like, the amount of times I've been shocked to find out someone takes some medication just for their mental health. I'm like, oh, I thought I was the only one. And a lot of people probably don't know that I take medication. So that goes to show, like, you really don't know. And it's not embarrassing. At least it shouldn't be. And yeah, just be proud that you're doing what you can to take care of yourself and keep up the good work. So yeah, just a quick little chat about medication. Let me know if you have any questions, if you feel like sharing your medication story in the chat below. I do want to make a future video on like the experience and the process of finding the right medication, because that is something I've had a wild ride with, and I know I'm not the only one. So I kind of want to talk about that. So if that's something you're also interested in, let me know below. And yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye. And the final misconception is that we should be ashamed of taking medicine, that it's embarrassing, that's something you should hide. And that is just not true. I will be honest, I used to be really ashamed about it, and I didn't really realize I was ashamed, but I was. And I felt pretty embarrassed that I took this medication, because I felt like if someone knew I took medication, they would think I was just insane, that I was terrible. Like, I thought that they would really change their view of me. And I really don't think that tends to be the case. Of course, someone might realize, oh, maybe your like mental health struggle is more significant than I realized, because you do need this help. But I don't think in general it really changes people's opinion of you, and mostly they probably just see, oh, you're taking care of yourself, good for you. And it's really nothing to be ashamed of to be getting the help. Kind of like if someone gets a cast or gets like some kind of like physical therapy, we're not like, oh, that's embarrassing, they have physical therapy. And we're like, okay, sure, whatever, they're doing what they have to do to recover. and no one really judges. And I think it's really honestly the same for medicine. So yeah, I would encourage you that you don't really need to be hiding the fact that you take medicine, unless it's like in an unsafe environment. But that's the one I'm still working on. Like when I'm at a friend's house, depending on how close we are, I'll try to like go into the bathroom or wait till they're out of the room to take my medication just because I feel embarrassed. But that's something I'm working on, and yeah, I don't think it's necessary if you feel comfortable. So those are the misconceptions, and now I'll talk about, this is pretty quick section, but just how it can affect us. And I think that really it just brings a lot of shame and like embarrassment and makes it harder to take the medication. So obviously if someone's prescribed medication, it's something that will be very beneficial to them, and